Hello, this is Kyle again. I just recently got back on my YouTube channel, checked it out for the first time in a little while, and turned out that we've got quite a handful of new subscribers. I was quite pleased to see that. I sometimes just feel like I'm speaking into the void, which is a good thing in my own mind. It's kind of a great outlet for me to be able to sit here and because again, I don't make videos; I just live stream them. So if I do this one take off the cuff. It is just me. It's me the entire thing through. So I did want to go and do a video that was a little less dissective of everybody, and just really look at what my favorites are. So if you don't know who I am, I'm a huge Baseball Hall of Fame autograph collector. I'm nearing the end of my journey. However, I can't say that I'm there. There's a lot of times that I'll sit there and say, I'm getting really close. And then I'll have something that I never thought I could ever buy come up for sale for the first time in months or years. And I kind of just sit there and go, wow, I never thought that would happen. So I even surprise myself sometimes still, which is just the best part about collecting. But I wanted to just kind of look at what my favorite autographs, not necessarily out of my collection, but out of the entire population of what's available to us on databases. And also there are a few that are actually in my collection that I'd like to put money on, that I actually firmly believe. I have two in particular that I'm very certain that I actually own the finest examples. I personally feel that I own the single nicest Lefty Grove signature available. And I also believe I own the nicest Bill Veeck autograph available. Those two in particular. I always try my best to go after the nicest available pieces because, again, at the end of the day, we're planning on opening up a gallery and dedicating it to Branch Rickey and Jackie Robinson and Clemente, and being able to have that for everybody to come and visit. So I really want to make sure that we bring the best examples to the public viewing standpoint. So without any more talking about what we're going to do, I'm just going to start going through what I have up on my taskbar, and we'll just take a look. And I think we're going to begin with, yes. Oh, there we go. We got the vortex. We're going to begin with my Lefty Grove. So this is my Lefty Grove. I can't necessarily zoom into it right now, but this is my absolute favorite. There's something about this signature that I firmly believe it. I seriously believe that this is probably my favorite in my collection, and also probably one of the greatest Lefty Grove signatures available, like, ever. It's perfect. If you look at the way that he forms his L here, swoops, I mean, it's excellent. No overlapping, nothing. E is greatly formed. The F, just enough to pinch it. The T, the Y comes up, doesn't touch the G. It dots the T. The G and the Grove, perfect. Everything connects, no overlapping, flawless. Even with the period at the very end, it's flawless. I personally believe that that is the nicest Lefty Grove signature in the world. And I have said it a million times. I believe that he signed this for a woman, a very attractive woman, is my guess. This is a period signature, so it's a playing day. So it's probably anywhere from the 20s, 30s, 40s up. I wouldn't say it's 50s. I'd say this is probably pushing about an 80-year-old autograph, at least 80, 90-year-old autograph. Well, not 90, but well, maybe 80, 90-year-old autograph. We'll say in that range. It's excellent. It stays way out of the way of the light. It's encapsulated. It's going to look like that forever. Yeah, actually, I'm just reading this post now. It's graded as Mint 9 and the highest graded. It is actually the highest graded Grove cut signature. It's got a little bit of toning on the rear of it. Kind of makes it look like it was soiled. It's not soiled whatsoever, though. The front of the paper is excellent. It's just there, the rear almost looks like as if it was like oily residue, like hand oil, kind of just wore down the color of the paint or of the card. But yeah, I only paid $100 for it, so that's a really good purchase. My next favorite one, Barney Dreyfuss. The only reason why I'm doing this video is because last night I was hanging out with some friends and we were actually talking about the most attractive autographs. And I do pride myself because I do have a pretty attractive autograph. I've worked on it since I was a kid. I've taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of people, primarily Mickey Mantle. I try to keep my formation of my letters to be somewhat similar to Mickey's M's. It's just something that I don't even know how I've done it. It's just something I picked up on when I was a kid. But we were going through looking at my favorite autographs, and I off the top of my head, I was just thinking, who has the most beautiful or most script-like? And I thought Barney Dreyfuss. I don't have a Barney Dreyfuss, but if I did, this is exactly the signature I'd buy. This is about perfect. If you just, again, I don't know why I enjoy autographs so much. Most of it's because of the penmanship. A lot of it also comes to just connect with these people and to be able to hold something from their lifetime. At the end of the day, everybody that I like collecting is dead. It's one of those things where we all die. And I think that, we all go in the ground, we decompose, or we go into ash, and, or we just decompose. There's nothing left of us. And autographs are a actual physical thing that's left on this earth that is, forcing your hand, your soul to move an instrument of which you can, leave ink on paper, and you can sign something and it will last years. It's incredible. People like George Washington has been dead for, 200 years, but yet, people still buy his autograph, and it's just the way we can connect with him. It's incredible. So Barney Dreyfuss, I don't even need to really talk about it much. It's just gorgeous. If you follow the Y bounces off the beginning or the bottom of the D, and it comes up, swoops, bounces off the top of the D, back up and around. It's flawless. It's absolutely flawless. And then it opens up into a two-stroke, and it ends out. And he flicks that fountain pen just a little bit so it widens out the Y. It's amazing. It's a beautiful signature. Absolutely beautiful. My next favorite one is this specific Chaz Comiskey setup. The double swirl, I think, is one of the most unique autographs in the world, I would say. Maybe not in the world, but in the sports memorabilia market, Chaz Comiskey, to me personally, is one of the most unique. I don't even have to describe it. Look at it. It swirls. It's out of this world. And again, this is a very historically significant check. It was made out to the player who ended up rigging the 1919 World Series with the Black Sox. It's a pretty hefty check for back then. But Chaz Comiskey, holy smokes. Now, I will say this. He did get lazy a little bit later on. You'll see a lot of his signatures look like this. These are not as attractive, in my opinion. I don't even like it where he did the one swirl. I just love this one in particular. It's almost like a snail swirl. I can't describe it. It's just so beautiful. It's excellent. I really appreciate that signature a lot. There's not many of them out there, I'll tell you that. Very rare. Bill Clem is the next one I would like to look at. Bill Clem has some of the most attractive handwriting, and his signature is just immaculate. I'll just kind of go through a couple of these here really quick, but just more of his handwriting. It's out of this world. The way that he writes his name, it's so intricate. It's so absolutely intricate. Look at this, the way he spells yours truly, the Y. And then look at this with the W from William, how this bounces off the Y in yours. It's amazing. And nothing overlaps. The things that overlap are supposed to overlap, but nothing, like, that's insane. Most people can't even, really, especially nowadays, athletes, they can't sign their names for nothing. They're inconsistent signatures. So to find a signature or even handwriting that looks like this is incredible. The penmanship of these guys, these Hall of Famers, are absolutely out of this world. So Bill Clem's definitely worth mentioning. He was an umpire, in case you're not too sure who he was. He was accredited with the arm movements for making a strike call or no movement for a ball. He was known for that, for creating that. This one's an easy one. I mean, I think everybody who collects autographs would probably say that Bob Clemente absolutely certainly should be on this list. It's a very unique signature. It's not necessarily the most attractive signature, I will say that, but it is the most recognizable for somebody's signature, if that makes sense. Like Mickey Mantle, you'll notice like Mickey and you'll go, oh, that's Mickey Mantle. But like Roberto Clemente, if you're in the collecting hobby, like Babe Ruth too, obviously, if you see that autograph, you'll go immediately like, oh, that's Babe Ruth. You'll see Clemente and you'll go, oh, that's Clemente. It's the most recognizable, I think, in the whole collecting hobby. I mean, look at it, and it is beautiful. I mean, I'm not going to take back, I will take back what I said. I think he's got also some of the most beautiful handwriting, and the inscriptions that he wrote, they're so ornate. And again, this was like the late 60s, early 70s. Like people, the penmanship of Barty Dreyfuss and Comiskey and Klim was all from the early turn of the century. So to have somebody that still had, and I think this signature also really shows off his heritage of being a Hispanic person, to be somebody who was a little exotic in their signature, I think is the way that I guess I can kind of equate it back to some, I don't know. It's a very unique signature that it's unlike anybody else. And it's very, it's very attractive. It absolutely deserves to be on this list. Next one's going to be an easy one. Mickey Mantle. Mickey obviously deserves to be on this list. It's one of my favorites. I've had many, many, many Mickey Mantles over the time that I've been a collector. And I myself prefer bold, Sharpie blue ink signatures with the swirl or with the swoop. This like lower swoop he did with his M, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I have a double swirl 8x10 in my collection. Love it. There's something about that double swirl that it doesn't bounce off necessarily, where it's, like kind of flattens out like this one kind of does. I like it where it swirls in itself and it feels like you're getting wrapped up into it. I like that signature a lot. And I think that's a really good one to mention. Next one is Tony Lazzeri. Tony Lazzeri was the very first time I ever saw somebody who wrote their name with a T who like didn't make it a T. It's a very unique T. And I'm going to say the same thing I did like with Clemente was, Tony Lazzeri was a very, he was Italian. He was an Italian guy. Same thing with the heritage. It's something about the personality. And what I believe in the autograph is that the autograph, your signature, is the absolute closest connection to your soul and the belief of yourself that you can have. And Tony saw himself as this man. I think it's so unique. And it's so interesting because the Lazzeri part, it's just reminiscent of a lot of people who would write an L, but the T in Tony is just so unique for him. And I think he's great for explaining yet again that your autograph is so unique to you. I personally have never seen somebody write T, like that before. So I thought Tony definitely needed to be on this list. I think he's kind of also an underdog too. If that makes sense. I just think that he doesn't get a lot of love. A lot of the high-end collectors appreciate his autograph a lot, especially in high-grade examples. I've owned 2 Lazzeris, both on baseballs, and I do wish that I'll have a flat of his. They're not highly expensive. They're about $1,000 in the collector market. On the baseball side, I guess it's more of a higher range, mid to higher, like upper mid range to low high range. So it's kind of, they're just, how do I say it? They don't come up so often, so they're rare. And then when they do come up, they all normally fetch a good premium, and then they're gone. And I will actually add one more. I meant to add this. I failed to not do this, but Larry Lajoie where he signs his name Napoleon is, I think, one of the more attractive signatures as well. This is absolutely beautiful. There's actually one I own a Larry Lajoie signature, not one that he signed Napoleon. I think those are just out of this world. Like this signature in particular, holy smokes! The only way I can describe this E with a J is catfish. I think it just looks like a catfish whisker, and that's it's incredible. I really appreciate his signature a lot here. And again, it's just a lot of that old penmanship of the turn of the century that was just the way it was. Larry Lajoie, it's still a good signature. It's no Napoleon. I'll say that. Napoleon Lajoie is absolutely out of this world. I meant to say that while we were looking there at Tony, because Tony has kind of the same L as Larry Lajoie, and I was looking at that and I thought, who else has that L? But I knew that Napoleon or Larry, when he did sign Napoleon, it's just a showstopper signature. This is my personal Bill Veeck. This is the one I said that I personally believe is one of the nicer, if not the nicest Bill Veeck in the world. I'll say this. I'll go out on a limb. I've never seen another Bill Veeck where he signed his signature like this. If you find one where he signed his name like this, buy it. I believe the signature is from 1943. If it's not from 43, it's from 44 or 45, and it was a World War II signature. So this is a stunning autograph. I love this one a lot. And it's signed William Veeck, which I think is just, again, I bought it because of that. I bought it because it was penmanship. I bought it because you can go out and buy a million Bill Veecks, but you can never find a William Veeck. I've got 2 letterheads from Bill Veeck, and this is by far my favorite. And I paid about $100 less for this one than I did for the Bill Veeck on his own personal letterhead, where he just signed a Bill Veeck, in his normal size and, the whole 9 yards like that. But I really like that one a lot. Dizzy Dean is the next one. Dizzy Dean, holy smokes. When he signed his name the way that he should have, slow and precise, it's amazing. You can't go wrong with this one in particular. The way everything connects perfectly, it's almost like you're getting zapped by lightning, looking at his autograph. And the Y, look at how the Y comes back up, connects with the beginning of the next D in Dean. It's amazing. And he 2 strokes it. Oh, it's kind of a shame that he didn't get it right where it needed to be, because it would have been perfect. But he was flawless through Izzy into the last D of his last name. But not towards, the earlier end of his life. I actually have a pencil signature from him on a old sheet that I'm looking at right now. I have it right here in my eye line. I like his autograph so much, I went out and bought a pretty decent piece, and it's in pencil, so I'll never have to worry about anything fading. But it's about that same. Mine looks a lot like this. It's a shame I never took a picture of this one. It's kind of more of a personal autograph. I really like this one a lot. But I like Dizzy's a lot. This is my personal Arky Vaughan signature that I really, really, really appreciate. Arky Vaughan is really rare, to say the least. Arky Vaughan on an index card is uber rare. Last July, there were only 2 known Arky Vaughan index cards known to exist. Hunt Auctions just sold a 3rd one. That was the 3rd graded known Arky Vaughan signed index card. And that is the 3rd one in the population report now. I own the only lined side. So there's like the 2 sides of an index card, the blank and the lined side. I own the lined side. So I'll tell you this, what I paid for mine, I was really impressed because the Hunt Auctions piece sold for 3 times what I paid for mine. And at the time I was like, wow, I really don't know. This is like a really high-end autograph for me, for it to be a no-name. I had to have it though, because I knew that he was so rare. And then I came across a album page signed by Joseph Vaughn. And he just dated it, or he signed it J. Vaughn. And I actually was reminiscent on that before I started the video, because I was kind of upset. I shouldn't have sold that necessarily, but it helped fund a couple other autographs. So, but I like Arky Vaughan's signature a lot because, again, it's just the penmanship. I love the G and the H, the infinity symbol. I have always enjoyed that a lot. He's very sharp on the end of his name. He's very sharp all throughout. But the K, I've always found the K to be so fascinating. Again, I can't zoom in here, but the K, it doesn't actually touch the back of the formation of the K. It just kind of tucks up and then immediately comes out. Like there's spacing there, and I always appreciated that. If I could go back in time and watch anybody sign their autograph in person and watch him how he signs his autograph, Archie. I'd love to go back and see him sign his autograph, because that K is just, I wonder if he did that fast or if that's something that he just nailed every time. He would just take his time with it and knock it out. It's impressive. So yeah, I think that is all that I have left. For now, those are the ones I have on my favorite list. There's so many more out there that I didn't even mention. Personal favorite players like Stan Musial, who has one of the more attractive signatures. Ted Williams has a really good one, obviously. If I were to look at older ball players like Rabbit Moranville, I think he's got an absolutely stunning autograph. There's some players like try and just kind of do him off the top of my head. Bill McGowan, another umpire. I wanted to put him in the video, but I didn't really do it. I have 2 signed baseballs by him that I absolutely had to have. He's got his informal signature and his formal signature, and I absolutely go head over heels for that autograph a lot. I can't really think of any more off the top of my head right now that I haven't already kind of just thought about. I'm kind of looking around the room and seeing what I have that I haven't mentioned, but a lot of it all just comes down to taste and preference. I think that list of 10 is a pretty good number. I think it's a pretty good list. There's a couple of guys, you can't go wrong with your, well, I can't say. Eddie Collins has a unique one. There's a lot of very unique autographs in the Hall of Fame autograph collecting universe. And I think that's why a lot of people enjoy collecting the Baseball Hall of Famers, is because they're all just unique men, and there's such a wide variety of autographs and the places that the signatures are signed. And because of that, it makes it a very one-of-a-kind experience all the way through. And that's, I'm just so thankful this is what I ended up getting to do. And every single day, I pray to God new things come to me, and we can add them, and we can go ahead and just get those doors to that gallery open. We can start helping people here locally, and to form something that really means something to the community. So it's the funniest thing in the world that a little couple pieces of paper and some ink and signatures from decades and decades ago could change the world. But I firmly believe that, and I think that with bringing a little bit more of this information to light, like my favorite signatures, really does help showcase what is possible for these signatures. So that's all I really wanted to talk about. I kind of wanted to keep this one under 10 minutes. It looks like I'm at 23 and a half minutes, so go figure. I want to just say again, thank you if you're subscribing to this channel. If you really do appreciate the content, like the content, if you could just drop a like and maybe tell your buddies about me. There's a couple of other YouTubers that I have taken as inspiration, and I just really appreciate them for what they do, because they have helped me out. And I'm very thankful for everything. I really am. So best of luck in your autograph collecting hobby. If you ever have any questions, don't even hesitate to reach out and ask me. I'm more than happy to help anybody out there. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. And yeah, 24 minutes in, did it again. But we will go ahead and talk to you guys in the next video. Again, if you're new here, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. Tell me your favorite Hall of Famer autograph. I'd love to know. And if you want to, you can follow me on X. I have my X, I believe, in the description of this video. And also, if you can't find that, it's just at Kyle Deal on X, and that's me. So thank you guys. Have fun, and good luck, and happy collecting. Bye-bye.